Hi guys, and welcome back to Dream Queen. Perla here. So I know I'm like mad distracted. I have so many things on my desk. Anyways, any information as to what it is that I do, services that I provide, people that I recommend, and all of that, what my gifts are, how I use them, and things like that. All the information is going to be down below under the description. I am trying to slow down because there's a lot of things that want to come up. So first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that participated in the reading party. And as always, I am always telling or advising anyways people to take responsibility for their own actions or inactions at that. And that's basically what this video is going to be about. So I had quite a big group of people who I had to do readings for and energy transmutation. Now you have to understand that I am, or I try to, let's put it this way, to keep my energy and the energy in my house, in my area, and surrounding me as clear as possible. So when certain energies do interfere, it is for a reason. So I'm not going to be saying details in regards to what came up in people reading, but I will say certain things that did happen. There was a few videos that were interrupted, maybe once or twice, and there was one specific video that was interrupted multiple times. And that video and those videos specifically that were interrupted in that way, I was able to sense the energy because it has been energies that have been surrounding a lot of people for quite some time, and a lot of people are unaware of it. I did, when I first started, reached out to my mentor and let her know so that she can spread the words to other people that have channels and that are on the same type of journey as far as like self-love, self-awareness. And to be very mindful of, one, who they watch, and two, who they decide to provide services for, and three, making sure that when they're interacting with certain people, that they can pick up if certain things are trying to come in with that person. Now, in the essence of this, what I want people to understand, that I am not speaking about people themselves being like evil or being negative or anything like that. It is about the energies that are attaching themselves and, in an essence, masking themselves in order to infiltrate basically other people. So when I had mentioned, I think in a previous video about channel hopping, is like when, you know, one thing resonates and it gets you bummed out or whatever, you want to go ahead and you want to look for a video that is going to lift your spirit and stuff like that. So what you're doing is, if you don't clear off your energy, if you don't realize the energies that are attaching themselves to you when you're coming and you're feeling down, then those energies are going to follow you to the next channel. And what they're going to do is, regardless of how clear that person has their channel, they're going to go ahead and seep in and see where and who, like, you know, the people that are the other people that are watching, if there is like even the slightest crack that they can seep in and start with the little doubts and start with the little this and start with the little that, and without you even realizing it, you can go from being on cloud 9 to literally being in a freaking ditch within hours, minutes, and it's like you're like, what the heck is going on? So I always say, when you're feeling certain energies, or when certain thoughts are coming, you have to stop them in their tracks. I'm not saying that it is easy. It is very hard. I sometimes still struggle with that, but there's a reason why I struggle, because the more that I face it, the more that I do it, the more that I learn. I am able to learn different strategies. So, first of all, if you see that things, instead of improving, are getting worse, and I am sorry if other people are going to get offended about this, then you need to take a break. You need to take a break from tarot watching or watching me or anybody else that does any type of any type of this work, you know, there's different people that do them in different ways. And the reason for that is because you're picking up way too many different energies from different channels, which in essence is not allowing you to see clearly. It is not allowing you to hear or to even kind of like connect with, first of all, like your intuition and to God, source, universe, whatever you choose to call. But, you know, we have to take breaks. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, yes, I understand that they are wonderful things as far as connecting to other people. I get it. Before I started this channel, I went through like 3 different phases where where I had deleted what was it? It's not paused. There's something else. It's not deactivated. There you go. My Instagram and my Facebook. The first time I deactivated them, I believe it was for like 3 days. Then I reactivated them because I thought I was fine. Then a couple of weeks later, I went ahead and I deactivated them for 2 weeks. And then, no, for 1 week. Then I waited about a week and then I reactivated it. And then I went ahead and I reactivated it. And I went through all my friends, you know, people that follow you, people that you follow because they're posting things that that you like and this and this and that. And then what I was starting to notice is that even though I was connecting with certain people, they had people still in their friends or people that were sharing things with them that were negative. So this person could have been posting a lot of positive things and a lot of inspiration and a lot of things for a long period of time. And then they would have a friend that would share something negative. And then they would, in essence, have an urge to share it. And then I would start seeing the change, how they were here and now they're like sliding down. And it started also happening on Instagram. Now, my Instagram personally, when I had it, it was more about like, I would usually choose like a quote for the day, or I would share like an experience or whatever. And I was always trying to uplift people. And even though there were people that basically would message like, oh, that how can I be so like uppity duddy, or how can I constantly be like so happy? No, I am not constantly happy. What I am constantly doing is constantly trying to stay at least in a neutral state so that when things are trying to come in, I can realize them. And I can go ahead and make that change within myself, within my situation. So at that point, when I realized exactly what was happening, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I deleted them. I did not deactivate it. So I uploaded the pictures that I had, like, you know, of my kids and myself and things like that. And I deleted them. I did not post that I was deleting my page, neither of them. I did not, so I made no announcements. I made nothing. I just literally just deleted them. And you know, when you delete social media accounts, they actually leave them for, I think it's like 30 days or something like that, depending on which one it is, before they actually completely delete your account because they want you to come back. And what I did was that I turned all notifications off for both Facebook and Instagram because I was like, no, I'm not going to be tempted. So, you know, that led me to lose communication with certain people that were following me, family members and friends that would look forward to like the posts and stuff that I was posting. So then I started getting text messages and calls like, oh, did you delete me? Did you block me? And I'm like, no, I just don't have it. I deleted it. Oh, but why? You were, you know, you're so inspirational, people. I'm like, yeah, and I get it, but it was time to delete it, at least for the meantime. So, you know, and I thought about it. I was like, oh my God, there are people that do not have my number. But I was like, you know, if somebody wants to find you and somebody, their soul needs to connect with you, they will find a way. So it was kind of funny because last night I received the text and I was like, oh my God, I found you. And I'm like, who is this? And it was one of my little cousins. Now, mind you, I had changed my phone number. I had texted her and called her to give her my new number, but it completely like went under the radar. So she's like, I've been spending so much time looking for you on Instagram and Facebook and I can't find you. And I'm like, well, you found me. She was like, yeah, for some reason, I had a voicemail that I didn't hear that I like, you know, it was just sitting there. And she was like, and something told me to listen to my voicemail and I found your number. And I was like, that's how it goes. She needed to talk to me. And you know, so I want people to understand that deleting certain things, even if it's for a period of time, you're not taking anything that is necessary or anything that is needed in your life. You're actually clearing up things that do not belong in your life. So I want you, like, I really want that to seep in, because the thing is that if you are not aware of what these energies are doing and how they're doing it, you are very vulnerable, regardless of how high vibrational you are, for these energies to attach themselves to you and in essence go and basically like infect everyone else around you. So I know a couple of people that are very good at keeping these energies from internalizing within them, but carry a lot of other people's negative energy. And I mean, this person doesn't even have, like, some of these people don't even have to be physically next to me. It can just be like, I sense that they're gonna call, and I am sensing all like those negative energies attached to them. Even if when I pick up the phone to talk to them, or even when they walk through the door, they are like in the best spirit ever. So this is like, you know, I understand that there is a lot of information about like not watching TV and this and this and that. It is not an essence of not watching TV, in my personal opinion, because there are certain things that I do watch because I find it interesting. It makes me think in a different way. Now, my boys tend to watch a lot of anime. There is one currently that I am watching because it piqued an interest of the things that the characters are doing. That has a lot to do with a lot of the things that are manifesting in the world. And unfortunately, yes, it's in a different language, but hey, you have subtitles. You can read. If you have to pause things because you can't read fast, then you pause it or whatever. But what I'm saying is that there is a lot of things that literally are just feeding garbage to you, there are things that are actually teaching you. The difference is that the garbage is literally what is mainly promoted. And the good thing that has substance and value to it are not promoted as much. So we have to be very careful and always pay attention to what we're watching, and always notice what you are allowing to resonate and to receive into you. And because, you know, yeah, there are people that can go their entire life without watching TV and not miss it, and that's fine. I have days where I want to, like, I like certain medical shows. I like the Discovery, like the History Channel, things like that. And sometimes you just freaking want to lay down on a couch and just watch a freaking stupid comedy or romantic movie or whatever it is, and that's fine. And what I've noticed with myself is that when I want to watch certain things, there's usually a reason why I have to watch it, or why I am being called to watch a certain thing. So we have to become very aware of what our body is asking us and what it is trying to show us. Now, with that being said and putting that aside, this is the next message. I like to take responsibility for anything that I do or anything that I do not do. While I was doing the readings, now you have to understand, I have a lot of people energies around me when I'm doing these readings and when I'm doing the energy transmutation. And it's not that I do one transmutation and send it to everybody. It's like if I have 3 readings, I'm doing 3 separate energy transmutation. If I have 15, if I have 20, if I have 40, everybody gets an individual tapping directly into your specific energy to so that I can help you directly. So this is not one thing that I sit there for like 3 minutes and do one video and send it to everyone like how I do when I post them publicly. This is specifically designed for you. So yes, even though when you purchase them it says like 3 minutes, it can run anywhere between like 3 to 5 and even longer, because I have no control of how much it's going to take to neutralize those energies. Now, the other thing that I do want to say is that I am not. So this is what you are looking for, then this is probably not the channel for you. I am not here to fix anything for anyone. I am here to give you guidance. I am here to give you advice that I feel that are coming from God, Universal Source. I am not here to take anyone's weight off either. So when I do these energy transmutation, the intention that I'm going in with is to neutralize things, to kind of calm things down, especially the overthinking and the over emotional, so that you can take a deep breath and then start to see the pieces of the puzzle and kind of see where it is that you have to begin. So in essence, it's more to give you clarity over everything than me going in there. Because yes, can I go in there and yeah, but that's not doing anything, because first of all, you're not learning, and second of all, I'm doing all the work, and it's like I did all this work already on myself. You know what I'm saying? And to that, I also do add, I do not have a problem saying no to people, because if I sense something in your energy, or if I start a reading and certain things want to come through and they're not coming through my mouth because you're not ready to receive it, I will tell you nothing came up, and I will give you a refund. And I'm not exactly sure if people are aware, because I don't think I have it on the website. For any work that I do or that I offer, any services, if you're not 100% satisfied, you go ahead and you send me an email and your money comes right back to you, because then one of two things happen. Either there were energies that I was not able to sense, or you're just not ready to receive the message that I'm giving you, and that is fine. Plain and simple. Now, back to the readings. After I had finished and I had uploaded them, when I was about to send them, something kept on holding me back. And I knew when I woke up that there was a reading, out of all the ones that I did, one reading that was not going to resonate with somebody 100%. And I wanted to know what reading it was, but it was not revealed to me. So of course, like I said, I always tell people, please give me feedback, because I need to, like, the feedback is not about feeding my ego. The feedback is because if I did miss something, I need to know what was interfering, so that then next time I can be more alert. So this person sends me an email and tells me what happened. And at first, I didn't want to read the email because I wanted to actually watch her video and go through to see if I can sense anything. But something kept up nudging me to read the email. And then when I read it, I was like, oh, I get it. Now, I was going to make a personal video just for this person, but then I'm like, you know what? Everybody needs to hear this, because this is something that is affecting people without them even realizing it. So I'm going to talk about a personal experience that I had. I'm not naming people or anything like that. So this is a world that I have always been a part of, even if not always publicly. Now, as I'm always saying about the positive and the negative, you need balance. There are people that believed that I was not meant to be with a person. Let's put it that way. I'm going to give you a storyline. And this person had sisters. So one sister decides that she is more powerful than I, because even though I had not devolved, what is the word? Oh my God. Divulged? What is the word? Like, I telling them, like, I had not told them at the time of what my gifts were. She could sense it. So she in her mind decided that I was doing witchcraft to this person because of the attraction and the connection that this person and I had immediately. So she decides that she is going to stop the connection and destroy me in the spiritual sense. She goes over and gets guidance from her mentor or whatever, and decides that they are going to, in essence, bury me in a cemetery. So she goes and she prepares whatever it is, with the intention that this person and I would never be able to be together. And that if we are, it will be very short-lived. So she goes ahead and does this and gets the two younger sister to take this and buried it at a specific time in the cemetery. I am unaware of who is doing it, but I am sensing that something is being done, and I decide to just leave it to God. Years go by, and this person and I are on the back and forth, and when we are together, things go from very nice and calm to like World War III within seconds. So we decide to part ways. So one day I am with one of these sisters, and we were at a gathering, a party, and we were having drinks and stuff, and everything just comes out of her mouth. And I told her at that moment, because when I sensed that somebody had done something to me, I decided to forgive them, because I felt like they didn't know what they were doing, or at least part of the people that were doing it didn't know. So I decided to, and when she told me, and she cried, and I told her, I was like, you know what? It's okay. I've already forgiven you, and it is what it is. God will allow what God will allow. I don't hold the grudge. So years goes by, and the initial person that did it took me a very hard time to forgive her. The two other ones were younger, naive, should have known better, should have done some research before doing anything, but was easier to forgive them and release them of that. The other one, it took me a very long time, and I'm not gonna lie. I can hold a grudge if I want to for like forever, ever. And I decided a few years after that I was going to work on forgiving her, and I did. And again, in my mind, at this point, I had forgiven all three parties involved. I had released whatever it was to God. And that was it. I thought it was done and over with. So fast forward to this year, this past summer, for some reason that event popped up, resurfaced. And I'm like, and I'm going through everything that I healed according to me. And I was like, and I can't feel anything, like no anger, no resentment, nothing. And I'm like, okay, why are you showing me this, God? And I went into my space, usually just my room, my bed, and I started praying, and I'm like, just tell me what it is that I'm supposed to be looking at this, because I released this. I had gone on YouTube, and I cannot remember who it is. So if anybody does know, please put it down below. It was a video in regards to somebody has said that if somebody does something to you and you know it and you don't do anything about it, you're basically like in agreement with them for them to destroy your life. And it made me think of it like in a different way. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? Because I released it to God. I released it. I didn't break it. I didn't take its power. I just released it, was what was coming down to me. And I was like, okay, how the fuck do I do that? Because first of all, I'm not sending anything back to anybody. Like, if people believe in doing that, that's fine. If you feel comfortable doing that, that's fine. I don't. I would not wish any of the experiences that I had to experience physically, mentally, emotionally, in relationships or anything like that on anybody. So, not sending anything back. Sorry. So, I go ahead, and as I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, who the heck am I saying sorry to? And I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And I was saying sorry to myself. Why? I had, and we're not talking about a year or two. We're talking about, it took me 10 years to get to this point of understanding. I had not only allowed someone to do something, basically to destroy my life, but I had accepted it because I didn't do anything about it. And I gave it power over my life because I felt that it made me feel certain feelings. Let's put it that way. So I remember I got up and I was like, okay, I see, like I understand what it is. So I thought about how I was going to go about, obviously the forgiving myself part was easier because it's something that I had already been working on. So I go ahead and I dive into my meditation the way that I meditate, which is not the normal way. And I allow myself to feel all the emotions that I personally chose or allowed to come in because I gave my power to someone else. I cried, I got mad, and I released. I was like, okay, I'm done. No, you're not done. I'm like, okay. So then I have to break this. How the heck do I break this? Because I'm not going to anybody that does this to try and break it. I'm not creating more karma for myself in that way. I'm sorry. It's like, God, you tell me what I got to do. So what I did was I sat there and I basically like spoke to myself in an essence, and spoke to the energies that were sent towards me, basically. Taking my power back, taking everything that they have that I had allowed them to take away from me throughout the years, even after I knew what had been done. Because I felt that just releasing it, because I was releasing it because I knew it was there, but I wasn't acknowledging the fact of everything that I allowed it to take away from me. So I took my power back and I literally said, whatever you were sent to do, whatever you were sent to destroy in my life, I take any power away from you from doing that to me. And I release you back to God, because I am no one to judge the energies that are coming in or the people that had sent those energies. Whatever their reason was, it is up to them, not me, because that is not a judgment that I need to face. That is a judgment that they themselves will face. And I lit up a white candle. I didn't write anything. I didn't write anything on the candle. I didn't do anything. And I was like, God, I am lighting up this candle for you. Again, you can use universe, whatever you want to use. Like basically sealing, coming into a covenant with God that I was no longer going to allow those destructive energies that were sent to me to continue in my life. And that I was releasing every single pain, hurt, everything that those energies brought into my life, because I allowed them to, I was releasing them back to him, not to the sender, but to him and his will to be done, not mine, because I am not God. You understand what I'm saying? So knowing that someone has intentionally try to harm you when it comes into witchcraft and stuff like that, ignoring it is not going to make it go away. Giving somebody else the power or the authority to remove these things from your life is not going to help, because you do not know what those people are going to do to release you from that and what kind of karma you are creating for yourself. So if you are in a position where somebody has done anything, and you know who you are, because you know we have been emailing back and forth, you have to take your power back. You have to forgive yourself for the fact that you allowed those destructive energies into your life. And you have to release it back to God. Now, how are you going to do that? I don't know. I'm not God. You go ahead. You go to your little quiet place. Whether you have to meditate, whether you have to pray, whether you have to shower, whatever it is that you need to do to connect and to allow the answer to come back, like come into you, then you do that. So we are here to give each other advice, to give each other basically the tools to move forward. We are not here to do everything for everyone. That is why I keep on saying, like, we need to learn how to balance our negative and our positive, because the only reason I say that is because we get into a lot of trouble when we try to just harness our good. Why? Because we want to help. Personally, when I am going to do readings, I feel people's physical, emotional, and mental pain. And it is a torture on my body. So I initially want to take that pain away because I know what it feels like. One, because I've experienced it myself. And two, because I'm actually feeling it at the moment. But I have to set my boundaries that I am here to help guide this person so that they themselves can remove that from their lives. Is that going to resonate with everybody? No. Why? Because unfortunately, in the times that we're living, in the society, and how everything is created is give me, give me, give me, give me. Everything is instantly. Everything is now. In the now. It's like, and we have to understand that certain things take time, because not everything is revealed to you all at once, because you're not capable of understanding everything at once if you're just starting the journey. Because if, let's say, things are revealed to you all at once, you may become overwhelmed because consciously you cannot process the information that is being given. So what happens is information starts to come in forms of dreams or in forms of messages from other people, and they come in very slowly and very like small little things, and you're like, the whole point of that is so that you can work on that, so that then the next step can come, and then you have another and then you work on that, and then the next, and then the next. And then when you get to the point where you are able to consciously process more than one thing at a time, then you will have all of these downloads all at once. And then you're able to say, okay, these are the freaking 7 things that I have to literally like clear out of my life. This is where I'm going to start, and this is where I'm going to end. But a lot of people are just receiving the beginning and are getting frustrated because they're getting stuck there, because you're focusing on the end. And there's really never an end. There can be an end to a season. There can be an end to a certain energy that has been having a power over your life. But there is no end to growth. There is no end to the journey. And I want everybody to understand that. And honestly, that is the message that I have for you guys. And why I say that, why I brought it up is because, like I said, I take responsibility for the type of work that I do. And when she emailed me and told me that it didn't resonate 100%, I didn't feel sad. I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, I knew that there was going to be a reading like that, but I was mistaken. It wasn't the one that I thought. But I was like, It literally lit a fire in me, because now it's like, I'm on the hunt to see what is behind this. And then when it was revealed to me, it's like, my head just dropped. I was like, why? Because this was a message that, see my shirt says, I'll do it mañana. As a Capricorn, because I am a Capricorn, that's my sun, and I literally harness that, like, I've always have. I like to do things my way, which has been a constant battle. I'm getting better at it, though, I'm not gonna lie. So this I was supposed to talk about when I first started the channel, but I didn't know how it was gonna come out. And I was very afraid of coming out with it. So, and I know that, I just laugh because I know, like, I've been getting hints, and I just kind of been like, yeah, I'm still working on that. Like, I'm still putting it in paper before I can go ahead and make a video. And, this weekend was the perfect opportunity for God to remind me that I had to speak about this. So, and I told the person, I was like, after I send you, like, the energy transmutation and you watch it and stuff, then I am. And I'm not charging her for it, because what happened, some of the information that came in does not relate to her personally. I'm not sure if it's, energies that are around her, but when I set my intention, I wanted to personal, like, energies within her, which is what I did with everybody else. So it was kind of funny that this happened, but it was because I needed to speak about it. And I needed to stop procrastinating and stop making excuses about talking about when it comes to when people are intentionally or unintentionally doing certain things to you, and how just a way, because it's not the only way, but of how I dealt with it. And I know a lot of you are wondering what happened to those people. Unfortunately, after I decided to break it and I released completely to God, things did start, the destruction that I had in my life basically started happening in theirs. And till this day, I'm still praying for things to turn around for them, because these are people that I've had connections with for years, even though we have stopped talking years ago. They're always in my prayers and they're always in my thoughts, because at one point I consider them family, and I still do. So I will always pray, and I will always send my love and everything to them. Will I allow them back in my life the way they were? Not unless God asks me to. Not because I am hurt or anything like that. They just have to be at a point where they are energetically or vibrationally aligned with me, because I am no longer going to allow other people's energies to drag me down with them. Now, when I allow people, if I'm doing a reading, when I allow their energy in to me, like, to come to me, it is different, because that is a temporary thing. But when you have certain connections with people that are very close to you, that you're constantly talking to or constantly hanging out with, the lines can become blurred. So if they're not at your vibrational level or close enough to it, where that if they have a slip, they can come back up, then I don't have a problem personally with keeping the distance. That does not mean that I stop loving those people. I am always like, when I love, I love. If I tell you I love you, that is unconditional love, meaning that I am there for you through thick and thin. Whether we talk every day or whether we spend years without talking. If I am called to battle, like literally, like in the spiritual realm for you, I will be there. Because that's just who I am. So, everybody sees things and feels things differently, but this is me. And I am not okay with hurting people intentionally. It just doesn't sit right with me, because we're supposed to be here to help each other. We're supposed to be here to make the world a better place. But we also have to understand that the people that you are connecting with need to want the help. And it's not just about verbally wanting the help, but they have to be willing to take the actions and to put in the work that you are advising. Because what you have to understand, when I am speaking, it is not me. This is not something that I am reading or I am writing. These are my experiences that God has allowed me to have. So when I start to speak, especially like when I'm like in that zone, is not that I am here, honestly, like not even half the time. I'll have like the topic and then I just go. I don't know what the heck is gonna come out. So when I'm doing readings, when I'm doing certain things, or when I'm even giving messages, I am just a vessel that God is using to get to whoever it is that needs the message. It is just that simple. So for that, I will never apologize. I apologize for certain things, and it's not because I'm embarrassed or anything like that. It's just, some people need to hear apologies, if that makes any sense. So when I do apologize, like when I say I'm sorry, is either that person is thinking, like there's probably a person that's watching that's thinking of somebody comes to mind, and when I say I'm sorry, it helps them release something. So whatever comes out, it is whatever is supposed to come out. I can't censor myself when it comes to that. Because if I do and I start to think, then what I'm allowing is I'm allowing my ego to take over, and I'm not allowing things to just flow as they're supposed to. Well, guys, I guess I'm not going to do it mañana because I did it today. And you know who you are. And so I am going to redo your reading because I told you, what happened was more for me to remember that when I'm told to do something, to do it, because, again, I like to plan things out. So, and like I always say, like, if something doesn't fit or doesn't sit right, I don't have a problem with redoing a reading if you want, because it's like, it is what it is. In this particular case, what happened was a teaching moment, because I needed to get pulled back into what I was supposed to do that I kind of pushed aside. And when messages come and when things have to be said, they need to be said for a reason at that time. And this is me. I apologize and I am sorry for those people that had to wait until now to hear that message. I take full responsibility for delaying on your progress because I was not ready, or I was doubting myself at the moment in regards to sending this message out to everyone. And my intention is to not allow anything like that to happen again. That when a message is sent to me or I receive a message from God, that I go ahead and I initially give them right away. Now, is that always going to happen? I don't know. I am working on it, and I am trying to be obedient to what it is that God wants me to do. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Now, guys, I'll see you. I'm tired. I need a nap. Last night was a rough, not a rough night. It was an interesting night. It was just interesting. But I need a nap. And I think at noon I have to take a nap somewhere spring. Anyways, I'll see you guys real soon. Thank you for watching. Sending everybody love.